My weird is gonna show just a little bit, but today we are working on turning a hole in my wall into something cute and miniature and magical. So this idea actually came to fruition because I think it was my dad actually, who was over at my house. He saw this hole in my wall, which is where a joist used to go before my home renovations. And I, of course, was just gonna fill it in and try to make it look seamless. And he was like, "Is that where your mouse lives?" Something along those lines. And now we're here, about to DIY some miniature shit. So on Pinterest, we've seen them called mouse houses or fairy homes, or if they're in a bookcase, a book nook. But essentially they're all just these really adorable, miniature, magical worlds where some little tiny thing or creature maybe lives. And on TikTok, we see a lot about miniature doll houses. There's lots of accounts about that. I'm definitely on the miniature side of TikTok these days. But outside of Pinterest and social media and TikTok, we see miniature dioramas or model worlds used for a variety of reasons. They use them in filming as film sets. A destination in Toronto actually just opened up called Little Canada. They're used in architecture and design, and one of my favorites is fine art. And there are individuals that have been doing miniature art for years. Artists such as Jill Orlove, Joshua Smith, Karen Collins, Michael Yurkovic, and one of my favorites, Tetsuya Tanaka. I just think that it is so imaginative and just interesting to dissect and look at and think about. So when trying to figure out what design to do for this space, I definitely took to Pinterest. I was thinking about maybe like a garden area or an art studio, or maybe I go super sleek and modern for a little home, or maybe I lean something more along the style of my own home. What I did decide to go with is kind of a living room setup that leans a little cottagey. Okay, so I decided to tackle this like I would any other makeover. So I created a to-do list and a mood board. This is kind of the space inspo. Lots of little odds and ends. Definitely very cozy for my little creature that lives here. And now that I know what style I'm gonna go for, I just needed to decide what scale. In my brief research of the dollhouse miniature world, I learned that scale is obviously very important to making sure that everything looks cohesive and it looks like a true miniature space. So two very typical scales are half scale and full scale. Half scale means that 1 foot is gonna equal half an inch on your small scale size, and full scale would mean that 1 foot equals 1 full inch. It's also written like this, 1 to 24 or 1 to 12. And to put this in perspective, if I were to get a front door for my little home here, a full scale door would be this size, while a half scale door would be about this size. I'm gonna go with half scale so I can fit more homey stuff and decor inside my space. Now I didn't really know where to start, so I thought the best first stop would be one of the only dollhouse stores in Toronto. They had lots of miniature items, definitely a little bit more for full scale than for half scale, but overall things were just a little bit expensive. I picked up a front door and a little wine glass, but it looks like I might have to DIY a lot of the pieces. Next, I went to a train and hobby store, but they didn't have anything large enough. I was definitely feeling a little discouraged until I checked on Facebook Marketplace. Now there weren't a lot of dollhouse or miniature listings, but I did see that Karen was selling multiple dollhouses that she assembled from a kit online. They were listed for only $40 and they had lots of pieces in them that I could use to build out my house. This was an amazing deal, as one light were to cost me more than the entire cost of this whole house. And it comes with lighting already. Okay, dollhouse secured. She had lots of options, as you can see, and she said these were COVID projects. I didn't want to tell Karen that I was gonna repurpose these, but really cute, really cute. And it has a little bit of everything that I need. Like, this one's so cute. I love this chair. You see that one chair? I love it. There's even a little patio. Wait, why am I obsessed? Okay, also these came with lights. Hold on, where is it? Batteries included. Like, look at this little sconce. Ah! Are you kidding me? I'm over the moon. Good morning, I am here in the office today and I am ready to start building all of the elements for my mouse house. So first I created cardboard templates for everything in the space, like the walls and the flooring, and then transferred those into MDF so that I could build on them. So starting with the fireplace, I'm using a construction adhesive to glue down the pebbles that I have. And then I'm using some grout that we already had here at the office with some gray paint in it to tint it. And I slathered that all in the cracks. And just like real grout, I used water and a sponge to wipe off excess. For the inside light up part of the fireplace, I will need to take apart the little home, so we'll come back to that later. For the front of the house, to cover up the hole, I built this MDF front of home, and I'm priming it because I found that it helped when sticking on a really fine layer of grout. In the wet grout, I can draw in little brick details using a ruler and a utility knife. And oh my god, I'm so obsessed! Okay, and the final front step of the front of home is to paint that front door that I bought the actual color of my real front door. Squee! Moving right along to flooring. I knew that for this one I wanted to use wooden stir sticks. I chose ones with a nice grain and then cut them to a couple inches in size so that I can glue them down to my MDF in a staggered design, just like real hardwood. Once glued down and cut, I'm going to stain them. I'm using Ipswich Pine Stain for a rich but still subtle color. Okay, it is time to move on to the miniature dollhouse that I purchased and strip it for parts. I'm just gonna start by taking out all of the elements that I could even potentially find useful in my mouse house. And I was definitely overjoyed about all of the lighting in this space because I will be using all of that. And honestly, doing mini upcycles with so many of these items, starting with the couch. So I don't have room for a sectional in my little house, so my thought is to cut it apart and make it into more of a love seat. I'm not too worried about the fabric here because I do not love the color and I will be reupholstering it anyways. With felt. I haven't done much felting before, but my plan is to just felt this beautiful orange color right onto the existing fabric. Okay, so spoiler, this is not really working out for me, so I'm just gonna make a pillow instead and use some fabric that we already have to reupholster the couch, which means taking it all apart and individually wrapping all of the sections. Okay, it is time for a little DIY break. I'm heading to Michael's because I know that they have some miniature items that I always peep, but I never have a reason to actually buy. Except for actually that one time. Oh, and that other time. Anyways, like I suspected, their miniature items are actually more full scale than half scale, so I can't really use any of them for my space. Although I think that this tree could work as maybe a Christmas tree. And even though I want to lean into like the rawness of the little hole just a little bit, I do think that these textured papers could make great wallpapers. So I'm going to grab the scalloped shell design and paint it. This kind of unflattering color, but I think it's a fun accent and will look really cozy and vintage in the little room. Okay, I feel like we're slowly working our way down to smaller elements. Next up is an anthropology inspired mirror. I grabbed these little mirrors from Michael's and I'm using my glass scorer and snapper to cut the mirror to a smaller size. Then I used some globby hot glue and gold paint in the hopes of creating like an intricate mirror frame. Obviously we need the fire of the fireplace, so in this little black cardboard box, I'm poking through one of the light bulbs from the deconstructed doll home. I'm using Sharpie to color some of the wax paper to act as my fire. And of course, little branches will act as my fireplace logs. Are you screaming yet? Let me know in the comments down below. Okay, somehow it's 11 o'clock at night and I'm trying to get in some of these larger elements like the flooring and fireplace and walls and the wiring, which has to go behind and under all of those elements. And not gonna lie, it's really hard to do a reno in a 4" by 5" by 8" hole in your wall, but I'm really loving how it's all looking. But good news is I've decided to add a little half mezzanine for added interest. Okay, I think it is finally the last day that we have to work on this mouse house. I thought this would take like a couple days. And here we are. But I think we're good. Many of the large pieces are in. So today, let me think about what we have to do. We have to bring in our decor. We have to make a few pieces. Like, I think that the front door needs a doorknob. I wanna make a little cheese board. I need to make a coffee table, which I don't even know if I have all the materials for that, so I might need to run out. I feel like I need some rugs. We need some decor. There's just a lot of things we need to do to bring in the final touches. Final touch time. But I'm so happy with how it's looking. Are you guys like squeeing as much as I'm squeeing throughout this whole process? Because there's a lot of squeeing going on. And once I decided to do the mezzanine, I upcycled the stairs from the original home to integrate with like the textured wall that I have in the space, and of course to match my chosen flooring. I pulled some art from the Met's open access gallery database, just some landscapes that I think will work well in my little house. For the rugs, I'm creating a faux hide and just kind of a natural toned, regular old rug. I just find that this helps make it look like less like a piece of felt and more like a textured rug. I think that these felts are really nice colors too. They are very complementary. Okay, so I know that for this living room, I want to do a little coffee table because I have my cheese board and my wine to put on there. So I drew out this out of cardboard. It fits. It's kind of like that 50s style kidney bean shape, very a la that episode of Upgrade My Stay that we did. And then I have these skewers here, and I actually think that they would be the perfect mid-century modern feet because a lot of the mid-century modern feet kind of like come to this tapered point. So I'm gonna try to cut out this shape out of wood and then glue it all together and then probably paint it. Okay, I think I'm done with all of the woodworking. I do still have to paint stuff, but I'm gonna have to paint some of my clay work too. So I'm going to make those first and then I'll paint everything. Sorry, this video is a little hard to film because everything's so mini, so I hope you guys are enjoying it. If you are enjoying this content, do feel free to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you can be notified whenever we post a video. We also have a second channel where we post vlogs. That one you definitely need a notification bell for because it's a little bit more inconsistent, but we're always here for you making the content, so we would definitely love to see you here more often if you're not yet subscribed. Okay, the clay part. I've been waiting for this the whole time, so I'm excited and nervous. I brought tools. Scalpel? Does anybody even know what a scalpel is? You and me, baby. Easy on me, baby. Oh my God, squirrels. Behave. Okay, I cannot believe we made it here, but everything I think is done and painted and assembled. Not me oiling my little butcher block. Wait, this is actually such a dumb joke because now how are my little cheeses gonna stick to it? Like, glue's not gonna stick to oil. Okay, it does look cuter though once it has a little bit of oil on it. Okay, time to place in the furniture and decor. Okay, now before I show you the final reveal, definitely stick around to the end of this video because I'm going to show my dad, who basically inspired this whole little space. So I'm excited to see his reaction. And I hope that I do it justice because it's just really hard to shoot such a small space, and the little lights are like a very weird color. Like they look just nice and warm in person, but on camera they're very green. Anyways, presenting the new unit in my duplex. I'm now a triplex. My little mouse house. I would like to thank Karen for building the first kit house, which really helped me out along the way. Rochelle at TheSorryGirls also really helped assemble some of these pieces. Of course, my father for the inspiration. And lastly, Miniatures TikTok. Hey. Oh, hello.
Hi.
Welcome. This is all because of you.
It's all my fault?
Yeah, but it's a good thing. Okay, ready? I'll get into the shot. Okay, what do you expect? Wait, come a little closer.
I don't. Open my eyes?
Okay, yeah. That's just outside.
He's all lit up in there?
Yeah, ready?
Okay. Oh, he removes. Oh my gosh. Holy.
Isn't that crazy?
That's great. How'd you get those lights in there? There's a battery. Is there a little battery there?
There's a little battery pack like hidden in there, but
Yeah?
it was hard to get. Let me see. I have to get close to these glasses. I was gonna remind you guys to bring your glasses.
Little chair, little table, plants. What's a two-story? It's got
It has a mezzanine.
it's got a mezzanine, stairs going up, little fireplace.
Did you see the cheese board? That's brie.
I'm seeing it now.
It's brie.
I see the
and
brie.
Swiss.
Yeah. It was worth you buying this house.
You get a whole new career ahead of you, kiddo.
This makes it all worth it. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure what you were doing with this place, but now I see. This is why you bought it.
Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye now. Wait. You guys didn't actually think I forgot to decorate for Christmas, did you? Merry Christmas and happy holidays from me, my little mouse, and everyone at Team TSG. We'll see you next week where Rachel will take you along with tips and hacks while she gets her together for the upcoming year. Bye-bye.
Hi, I'm Rachel. Now I know I might not be the sorry girl you are used to seeing, but I am just thrilled to be here. You may have seen me before helping Kelsey or Becky and Kelsey, but today I'm running the show.
I don't know, sounds pretty good to me.